Good afternoon, boys and girls, children of all ages, ladies, gentlemen, cats, dogs, anyone who's watching on Valley News Now. Adam and Russ back at it again.
That's right. You know, I'm so used to being here for the fun cast. That's not what this. We'll do that later.
Yeah, we'll still have fun.
Well, yeah.
You know, but it won't be as fun.
Right, exactly. No football pigs. No talking about our favorite snow potential song. But you know, we'll get there later this week. I do want to. What I want to talk about here is talk about kind of these next, 24 to 36 hours or so, because as we've watched this system kind of move into the area, kind of do its thing, so far it's basically done exactly what we expected, which is great. That's getting through all the rainfall. That was kind of the initial deal. We were expecting rain to start yesterday evening. It did. We're expecting a lot of rainfall. We've seen some areas upwards of 2 inches of rain in Lakes Country. Here at Fargo, we've seen anywhere from about 1.25 inches to 1.33 inches of rain. So getting that, we need that drought-busting rain. Rain is moving out. Take a look at the radar behind me here. You can see still getting a little bit northern Minnesota, but look what's happening. We're starting to get a little bit of that wraparound of snow. And I know some may be out there saying, hey, it's a first alert weather day. You guys talked about snow, and whereas it's coming, the expectation kind of.
So snow's the blue.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. The expectation all along was the snow wasn't going to really hit until this afternoon or this evening, and that's still what we're looking for, what we're planning out. So with that in mind, we're already starting to see James River Valley, a little bit of that snow pop up between Jamestown, Ellendale, and down towards Sisseton. Notice a little bit kind of pushing toward Fargo. I think it's really going to be later on, about 8, 9, 10 o'clock before the Fargo-Moorhead area starts to see that snow really impact the region. So what we've got here is this. This is our first alert forecast. We're going to take you through this afternoon, this evening, and tomorrow. We're at about 6 o'clock, and notice still kind of little pockets of snow here and there. Not a lot happening. Also notice the winds really picking up. That's going to be key for tonight and tomorrow when that snow gets going. So we jump right into, now we're a little past midnight, between 12:30 and 1, and look how it's all filled in.
So now this is real. This is a lot of snow actually at this point.
Right. The snow coming in, coming down. You've got those strong winds. And again, like I said, I think for Fargo-Moorhead, we're looking at a kind of a time where we'll start to see that snow come down sometime between about 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Okay. Once it starts, we're going to see generally light to moderate snow, some pockets here and there of heavier snow. When the snow comes down initially, it's even though temperature's below freezing by this point, it's going to take a little time for it to stick. So some of it initially kind of melting on contact, but then it starts to build along the surface. So now we're going to walk you through till about 3, 4 in the morning. Snow still coming down. Again, you can see gaps here and there. It's not necessarily going to be, it starts at 10 or 11 o'clock tonight and just snows all the way until tomorrow night. We'll have some breaks here and there, but tonight and tomorrow morning, really through about noon, I think this key time. So now we're looking at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, a lot of folks heading to work, right?
Starting to wake up, getting ready to go to work, maybe just hitting the road.
Right. And at that point in time, not only should we have some snow on the ground in many areas, including Fargo, we're talking about Grand Forks, Detroit Lakes, again, Devil's Lake Basin, James River Valley as well. But you've got that wind, folks heading out the door. I think at times visibility tomorrow morning when traveling is going to be relatively low, so please be aware of that. Also, we could see some slick spots on the roadways. Temperature will be, by that point, again, you can see in the mid-20s for most of the region. Notice as we get toward about 1 o'clock tomorrow, we start seeing more gaps. What happens is that snow is starting to decrease across the region. We're still going to have some snow showers for sure. Even in these areas where maybe you don't see the blue right now, that doesn't rule us out from seeing snow. This is more of a kind of, we're going to see more scattered snow showers as opposed to a full complement of snow like we're going to see early in the day. We'll take you right through about, 10 o'clock tomorrow night, 11 o'clock. By then, for the most part, snow is out of the region. I think most areas will actually see the snow move out by late afternoon, early evening tomorrow. But, you know, we're going to take you now to our snowfall potential. And so what does all this mean? We start tracking in that opportunity for snow tonight right through Wednesday evening, even Thursday morning. And what we're going to do is stop here, Adam, right about 6 o'clock. And what you're seeing is snowfall totals anywhere from 1 to 3, 2 to 4. We're looking at about 2 to 5 inches right now in the Fargo, Detroit Lake.
So wow. We are going to get some decent inch.
Yeah, and I think, too, one of the things we look at here is because some of that snow will initially melt before it starts accumulating, we may get, and in fact, I expect to get in Fargo, Moorhead, anywhere from 2 inches to 5 inches. Some of that When we actually talk about, okay, what's on the ground by tomorrow afternoon, I think anywhere from 1 to maybe 4.
Okay.
But still,
Sure,
you know,
yeah,
decent
definitely.
deal.
I mean, like when we haven't had any yet.
Right.
You know, 1 still may not be a lot, but like if you haven't gotten any all year, and it's not just, sometimes you start with that dusting.
Yeah.
Anywhere above like 2.5, I feel like that's kind of just, maybe people are gonna be like, oh, look
Right.
at that. We got some snow.
Exactly. And one of the things I haven't mentioned here, and one of the reasons why we kind of look at a big gap, you go, okay, Russ, you're saying between 1 inch and 5 inches on the ground, or even more, Devil's Lake. Why is it that you have such a spread there? And one of the reasons is we're looking at the potential for what we call a little bit of snow squalls or snow banding.
Okay.
Little pockets of heavier snow. Those are always almost impossible to detect exactly where they're going to be. You can get kind of an idea of saying, okay, it's probably going to happen in this region more so than others, but it's hard to pinpoint and say, okay, at 3 a.m. tomorrow morning, we're going to get a snow squall in Holly. You know, so
Yeah.
so with that in mind, again, that's why you look at some areas like, let's just take, for instance, Fargo, Grand Forks, Detroit Lakes. Fargo, Detroit Lakes, not really that far of a distance, but in some of those areas we could see as little as 1 or 2, and then you could go about 20, 30 miles down the road and you're in that 5 to 6 inch range.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
So with that in mind, though, I think everyone definitely has the accumulating snow. Again, the wind, the poor visibility, as we talked about, just something to look forward to there, or at least understand, if he doesn't look forward to it, but to know that that is going to be part of a player in this. The last thing I want to show you here is likelihood of at least 4 inches of snow. This is the most recent updated through Wednesday evening. Now,
Okay.
this is actually, over the last couple of weather model runs, this is actually increased, meaning that there is a better chance now, again, Grand Forks, Fargo, of seeing 4 inches of snow. What this has here, this model showing that this area in brown here, that's 80% chance. So within this region right here, there's an 80% chance that we're going to have 4 inches or more of snow. Again, with the caveat that some of that snow melts initially before it starts building. But yes, this is a wet system. This is one that when the temperatures cool down, we are going to have that opportunity for some pretty decent snowfall.
Okay, yeah. I mean, when you see this, and it's interesting because we talked about this a little bit over the weekend, and like you said, I don't want to give you too much credit, but you have been spot on so
Well,
far.
thank you.
Literally have, and it's funny because people have asked me about the weather, and I'm like, well, let me tell you exactly. You know what I mean? And I feel like I am the meteorologist. I'm not. I barely understand any type of science, but it's always nice when you and Lisa explain it to me. Joseph as well, Summer. Everybody's been helping me to understand not just what's going to happen in the short term, but you know, I was talking to Sheriff Johnner about the weather earlier, and he asked me, I was explaining the cliff.
Yes.
And so, like, when we kind of zoom out from what we're talking about, the likelihood of at least 4 inches, and we look at the weather year, we are getting to that cliff.
Yes.
And so now, Wednesday,
Right.
and then it's going to be cold.
And then it's going to be cold. I was going to say, it's funny. First of all, you said something to go, don't ever be afraid to give me too much credit. and it can be, like, literally, it can be too much, like, more than I deserve.
Hey,
I'm
you
still okay.
tied for first place in picks.
Hey, thank
Did you hear
you.
about that yet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, first time.
So he's got that. There's some credit.
There we go. And one more thing, I'm sorry. There is something really quickly I want to show you. I forgot I added a couple graphics here. This is an 8 to 14 day temperature out. So what we're looking at now is we're looking into November, first 3 days of December. And within our region, pretty likely we're going to be colder than normal. In fact, it looks like next week toward Thanksgiving, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the weekend, some very cold temperatures, lows in the single digits, highs in the teens. Yes.
Coming up quick.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, in terms of, you look at this, you're like, I don't see
Speaking
any
of
color.
cliffs.
Yeah, I know, right?
Shoot.
Right, Cliff Clavin.
Yeah.
You can see here in terms of precipitation, when you see this gray, that's about average for this time of year. So we could see a little precipitation. Right now what we're expecting is this system that's moving through. Once we get past this late Wednesday, early Thursday, nothing big on the horizon. So when we have those really cold temperatures locked in, maybe just a little period here and there with some light snow, a few flurries.
Okay.
But by and large, it does look like it is going to be generally dry next week, just very cold, especially as we get toward Thanksgiving.
Okay, well, that's a great update. Russ, thank you so much.
You bet.
Always a pleasure. We almost missed that.
I
That would've
know,
been
and I got to
awkward,
work on
especially
that.
on camera.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Is this thing on?
Oh, it sure is,
Oh.
buddy. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Stay with everybody. Where can everyone get the most up-to-date information, especially pertaining to maybe getting off work, morning travel, information when they need it, where they need it?
Well, right there, the VNN Weather app. I mean, that's, yeah, exactly. Go there, get it. If you don't have it, you got to download it.
Yeah.
And it really does. Covers just about everything. You can get the radar right as it's what's happening. You can get all the video updates that we do. When I say we, Joseph, Summer, myself, Lisa, and just give you the latest on everything right there on the app.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on